Hello, my name is Andy and I am the village idiot, and I'm armed with a car and a GoPro, and I've still got that unhealthy amount of time on my hands. Welcome back to a very breezy, blustery North Lincolnshire, and today I'm on the bank of the River Ancholme once again, but this time I have something rather magnificent that crosses it. Check this out. That there is Horkstow Bridge. Welcome to the parish of Horkstow. Horkstow is a village and civil parish in North Lincolnshire, some 4 miles southwest of Barton upon Humber, 1 mile south of South Ferriby, and 9 miles north of Brigg. It lies on the B1204 and 1 mile east from the navigable River Ancholme. It's one of the 5 low villages: Worleby, Bonby, Saxby All Saints, Horkstow, and South Ferriby. These are so called because of their position below the northern edge of the Lincolnshire Wolds. Horkstow was previously part of the Glanford administrative district, and before that the North Lindsey division of Lindsey, Lincolnshire. According to a dictionary of British place names, Horkstow in the 12th century was known as Horkstow, probably meaning shelter for animals or people. In the Domesday Book, the village is referred to as Horkstow, although the name has gone through various changes since. 3 Horkstow listed buildings, Manor Farmhouse, Horkstow Hall and Horkstow Grange, are of particular historic note. One of those, Horkstow Grange, is a traditional Lincolnshire folk tune as well. In 1937, Percy Grainger used it as part of his Lincolnshire Posy suite. Historic folk associations with the Grange inspired the name for the band Steel Eye Span and their subsequent album, Horkstow Grange. Historically, there's a bit here. A 4th century Roman mosaic, discovered in the grounds of Horkstow Hall, was discovered in 1796 and 1797. The mosaic is a tessellated Roman pavement, depicting Greek mythological figures. It was taken to the British Museum in 1927 on permanent loan, but was transferred to the Hull and East Riding Museum in 1974. The mosaic consists of 3 panels. The first depicts Orpheus, the second is known as the Painted Ceiling and includes several scenes from classical mythology, and the third depicts a chariot race. The church here has an information board which mentions them. The Orpheus mosaic is one of 13 examples of this subject from Roman Britain, and is one of the 2 most northerly examples, the other being at nearby Winterton Roman Villa. Horkstow Roman Villa is a scheduled monument. A geophysical survey of the site in 1987 identified structural features between the site of the mosaic and the nearby Horkstow Hall, though the full layout of the villa has never been discovered. In 1872, White's Directory reported that Horkstow had a population of 250, with a parish of 2,085 acres. The larger part of the parish in manorial lands was owned by Charles Anderson Pelham, the 3rd Earl of Yarborough. There was a national school in the village, and it was built in 1858 by Charles Anderson Pelham. Parish professions and trades listed in 1872 included the parish vicar, the parish clerk who was also the sexton, a schoolmistress, and a land and estate agent based at Horkstow Hall. Horkstow had a horse-drawn wagon operator carrying goods and sometimes people between the village and both Barton upon Humber and Brigg. Demographics now, I can't give you much for this one, but Horkstow's population is less than 100, meaning it's included in figures with neighbouring South Ferriby. It covers 8.6 square kilometres and forms part of the Brigg and Wolds electoral ward. The average house out here will set you back £355,000. Always good to see the Lincolnshire flag flying. There it is in the garden of one of these houses on St Maurice Close. Now, St Maurice Close is right next to the church, And this one's a nice little church. Let's go and have a look at this. The parish church is dedicated to St Maurice and it's Grade 1 listed. It was built supposedly by the Knights Templar in the early 12th century, though in fact they had nothing to do with the church. The vicar of the church was in fact presented by the Knights Hospitaller. The Templars never had any personnel in the parish and only owned 46 acres. Within the church is an oval marble tablet to Catherine Ayres dating to 1759, and at the east end of the nave there's one to Rear Admiral Thomas Shirley, the leader of Shirley's Gold Coast expedition, dated to 1814. There's also one to Colonel John Tufnell, dated 1838. It's been much rebuilt and restored since establishment. An internal restoration costing £450 was carried out in 1868, and there was an external restoration in 1895. Now I'll need some help here from the Horkstow locals. There are bus stops in the village, but I can find no bus services that stop at them. Do these still run? Let me know. That leaves us with the village hall as the only other amenity of note, and the sign outside it depicts the village's most famous landmark, Horkstow Bridge. The National Byway makes a welcome reappearance on the channel here. It makes a change to see this in a location that's not Nottinghamshire. The flagpole is of note outside the village hall. This was erected as a war memorial effectively. A mile north of the church is Horkstow Hall, the former home of Rear Admiral Thomas Shirley, and it's also the possible site of the monastery of Diamond-Dale Priory. The Wesleyan Chapel was built in 1838 and rebuilt in 1869 at a cost of £1,000. The primitive Methodist Chapel was built in 1855. Both are now converted to other uses. Okay, so I've walked from one end of the village to the other, from north to south, and now I'm just going to walk back again before hopping into the car and going to the biggest landmark that this village has got, and that of course is Horkstow Bridge. It's a suspension bridge, not quite like the Humber, but still pretty impressive. A suspension bridge is not something you'd expect to see in a village this small, but Horkstow Bridge is just that, having been erected over the River Ancholme. Okay, well this was a little bit unexpected. I didn't know this was a bridleway, and I wasn't allowed to take the car down here. But you know, if you want to visit Horkstow Bridge, then you obviously have to park where my car is, up there, and walk this 9 minutes according to Google to walk from there to the bridge, so it's not that bad. So we'll have a nice little stroll. Horkstow Bridge is the only suspension bridge designed by Sir John Rennie. The ironwork was supplied by Messrs John and Edward Walker of Gospel Oak Ironworks in Tipton, Staffordshire, and the bridge was completed in 1836. At each end of the bridge are rusticated stone piers in the form of 6.5 metre towers, which form archways above the road. The single span measures 42.6 metres from centre to centre of the masonry towers, and the entrance to the bridge deck through the archways is 3.5 metres wide. It links the villages of Horkstow and Winterton. A ferry had previously connected the villages, and it's believed a bridge had occupied the site from the 18th century, providing access to the brickmaking kilns located on the Winterton side. Although it's open to motor traffic, it's mostly used by ramblers, cyclists and anglers. It's owned by the Environment Agency, and in September 1979 was listed Grade 2. Movement can be felt even under pedestrian traffic, and I can promise you that's a true fact, having stood on it. Well, I'll tell you something, you can see why this is a weak bridge. I'm just feeling now the wind blowing me in the face and falling under my feet. It's probably, you know, it's not going to collapse or anything like that, but it's, yeah, it's definitely a weak bridge, this. Horkstow is one of only a handful of early suspension bridges in Britain to remain as originally designed. In 1979, repairs were needed after the tractor unit of a 23-ton articulated lorry fell through into the river. In the 1990s, the bridge was strengthened and the deck was relaid using a tropical hardwood timber. And it still bridges the Ancholme, as it always has. Okay, so all I've got to do now is make my way back to the car from here at Horkstow Bridge, and I've got a nice view of Horkstow village over there, below the escarpment, as it were, the cliff I suppose you'd call it. And there you go, that is the parish of Horkstow. There's no point giving you a picture bit today because I don't think there's much in and around the parish boundaries that I haven't covered, and if there is, I'm sure you guys will let me know. So yeah, no Strava map either today, not much point for just a short walk up and down one street really. Yeah, that's another one down in North Lincolnshire, 10 down now, and 47 to go. And I'll see you next time somewhere in North Lincolnshire. I've been Andy, also known as the Village Idiots, and this has been the parish of Horkstow, and I'm out.
Horkstow Grange there lived an old miser. You all do know him as I've heard say. It's him and his man that was named John Bolin. They fell out one market day. Pity them what see him suffer. Pity poor old steel I span. John Bolin's deeds, they will be remembered. Bolin's deeds at Horkstow Grange. With a blackthorn stick all steel I struck him. Often so threatened him before. John Bolin turned round all in a passion. He knocked old steel I into floor. Pity them what see him suffer. Pity poor old steel I span. John Bolin's deeds, they will be remembered. Bolin's deeds at Horkstow Grange. Old steel I span, he was felled by John Bolin. It happened to be on a market day. Old steel I swore with all his vengeance, he would swear his life away. Pity them what see him suffer. Pity poor old steel I span. John Bolin's deeds, they will be remembered. Bolin's deeds at Horkstow Grange.